Now, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Trying Art Podcast. God, I completely forgot the intro. Hold on, wait. How's it going, everybody? Hold on, wait. Okay, we're gonna do this again. We're gonna do this again. This is such a bad start. Why do we do this live?
Close the curtain. Close the curtain.
Why do we do this? Wait. I'm switching back. I'm switching back to sides. Welcome to the Trying Art Podcast. Oh my god. No, we're gonna push through. Welcome to the Trying Art Podcast. Not a trying art podcast, but a trying art podcast. My name is MagnasX, and this is my co-host. God. This is my co-host Lily Valour. Once we get together and we draw, we come into the office, we talk about art, we disappoint whoever is watching. Hi people who are watching, and honestly that's it. That's it. And we start every episode by asking a very important question: what's the temperature today, Lily Valour?
The temperature today is, I want to give it a 5.2. I'm going to give it a 5.2.
It's not bad.
A little above average. Yeah, just a little above average. You know, I'm chilling. How about you?
I'm going to go ahead and say I'm at a solid 5.
Nice. Have we ever we ever hit a like 8, 9, 10 ever, you think?
No. Oh, so you know, viewers of the podcast, Lily and I were talking about the fact that so you don't know, Lily and I have a very fabled I don't know how this started. I don't know how most things start.
That's a good question. I'm not sure either now that I think about it. I feel like I started it. Potentially.
But every day for I think almost a year. I
started a lot of shit.
Yeah. You keep it going. I think that's what I appreciate. But I'm pretty sure every day for like a year at this point. Almost. We're pushing it a year.
A year? No chance.
It's been a long time. Like it has to be
since we started the temperature?
Yeah. Wait, has it not been a year? It's 6 months. At least.
Maybe even less. I feel like it's so recent. Anyway.
Even 6 months is still a long time for one continuous bit. But
that's true.
But every day for the past several months, and Lily and I have asked each other on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you? I think we've explained this multiple times, at least once before. But 5 is you're okay. 4 is so first of all, 6, 7, are miracles. And 8, 9, and 10 are like fables. They're like urban legends. I don't think either of us has ever reached 8, 9, 10. I think one time I asked a favorite thing in the world. One time I asked Lily what a 10 was like, and it was the simplest day ever. It was just a day where nothing bad happened.
Yeah, just super basic. Nobody bothered me. Nothing bothered me in my mind at all. Nothing good happened, just nothing bad happened.
I think the most extravagant thing was that Lil was like, I like to go to a museum with my husband, and that was
Okay. Listen, simple pleasures, okay? That's how you avoid getting disappointed in life.
oh, but that's so sad. I mean, it's valid. It's just so sad. It was like, what do you want? What do you want? What's the best day of your life for you? Just something for, just something to not, to just do a simple outing.
Yeah. Also, the first time I think I mentioned the temperature thing, I think it was either end of November or beginning of December.
Yeah, it was definitely
Because you
towards
kept
the end of
saying
the
you're
year.
like, oh, we gotta do like a pre like ritual thing, like a check-in. And I was like, oh yeah, like taking the temperature. And then I think that kind of just
Didn't we
me just
do?
saying that just started, and then like the next thing is me just being like, what's the temperature? And we used to say hot or cold before. You would say lukewarm for your five. That was lukewarm. But then we started doing the number scale to make it easier.
Didn't we do temperature stuff before podcast stuff?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, it started before the podcast for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so if
Anyway.
you're out there listening, what's your temperature? Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling? Um, well, speaking about out there listening, a friend of the Shah, friend of the Shah,
I'm sorry, it's fine.
friend of the Shire.
Oh, oh my God. No, you can't say Shire. Arya's gonna be mad.
What? No, that's from Lord of the Rings. She doesn't
Sure.
own Lord of the
Oh,
Rings.
okay. I'm so sorry. Well, the other one time I said Shire and she made fun of me, so
Uh,
it's sure.
uh,
Anyway, what were you gonna say?
um, friend of the show guy, is here hanging out.
Oh,
Yeah, he made it right on
hello.
time. Which is good because we're like 30 minutes late.
You know, as it
um,
goes.
my favorite thing. We're running you guys through the week. And this week, 5.6 is good. Guy says that is 5.6. That's nice.
Oh, nice.
Uh,
That boosted mine by a little here. Let me say 5.2 now because God's happy.
I'm still at a 5.1 guy, but I'm still at a 5 guy, but I'm happy that you're happy. Um, friend of the show, guy has been subject to a series of ridiculous hypothetical questions by me for throughout this week.
Yeah, the poor thing.
And they have been it's been so fun listening to guys answers. That's it. I feel like I thought there was gonna be more to that, but no, that's just it. He's been a really good sport about it. I did ask him if he would I did ask him if he would accidentally or fully aware but unintentionally genocide a race of Oompa Loompa like creatures. And I'm not gonna tell you what his answer was, but it was a good answer.
Okay, all right. Questionable.
It was a good answer. It was a good answer. It was a good answer. Um, Lily's was not.
Mine was lackluster. I know, I know.
Lily was just down for it. Lily was like, look, they're not gonna make it. Let's see if we can get something good out of them.
What? No, that's not how it went down.
That's how I interpreted it. Too bad we can't discuss
Okay.
it further. Lily, what do we?
Anyway.
What do
This is a train wreck.
awful episode. Anyway,
Oh God, it's great.
Lily, what do
Ask
we?
me a question.
what are we talking about today? We have
I can
um
tell you what I'm talking about today. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, you never asked or just
True. You're the host and I'm just the co-host. I'm second. Um, anyway, well, this week. Oh,
Mhm.
wait. As you can tell, I'm not working on the coffee shop right now. In fact, this is a nice lady's face. Switching it up here. So you might have heard me talk in previous episodes about my personal project. There are a lot of clothing folds. I am doing a whole thing here, but I finished the folds this week, which means that I can move on to other parts of the piece, like her face. But yeah, you saw a lot of that progress, didn't you, Magnus?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. What do you think?
45 stream.
Okay.
Okay. Look. First of all, let me get it out of the way up top. Lily is a very patient, dedicated artist. She chooses a very specific style that's accurate, and it has these beautiful
Tedious.
renditions of like it perfectly encapsulates the beauty of gradation and values. I think like values is an often overlooked part of art, especially for new artists, where the transition between darks and lights can be pretty harsh, or they can be really soft. I think one of the cool things about you doing stippling and the way you do it is that you really see like the beauty of that great gradation and that transition between light and dark and the various
Yeah.
values that go into a piece. So I think that's cool.
Yeah. I think
Um,
it's cool too because there's no color,
yeah,
like it strips away all of the color and you're just left to see it for what I can make it be.
the fact that you use this style is really cool because it represents the fact like um I'm a big fan of manga. I really like manga simply because of the fact that it's just ink in tone. Um and a lot of like some of the visual effects you get is through like hatching or through like the placement of very dots at different densities. There's even like different like tone paper you can get where you like cut it out and you do it and
Hmm.
it gives these really cool gradation effects. If you have Clip Studio Paint, they come with a lot of tools that like replicate this digitally, which is really cool.
Hmm.
I think like your stippling actually represents that in a really cool way, and it's done traditionally, which I think
Yeah.
like it feels like a very like it's very different from what I consume, but it
Right.
has these.
But
It's
there's a lot of
reminiscent.
similarities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
There's a lot of
reminiscent
like
of it.
similar elements and
Mhm.
I think a similar way of thinking. Kind
Yeah,
of. Because
yeah,
it's like, yeah, in manga, there's not usually color, but they still have to differentiate between way more elements than, what's just in my one drawing. There's buildings, there's different people, different characters, and the characters have different hair colors and clothes and all that stuff. But like thinking about it in this way, like makes you, in a way, kind of more creative, I think. It's like having those limitations. And I think that's why I like that.
yeah. I agree. Um,
Yeah, that was really nice of you to say. So what's the mean part?
okay, so the main part is, so the main part is, I've watched Lily for literally 45 like streams of at least an hour and a half long working on this piece. This is like 90 hours of just Lily in the background. 90 to 100 hours of Lily in the background working on this piece. Dot by dot. And the one thing I've
Yeah.
wanted Lily to do, the one singular thing,
Oh my God.
is to
You're gonna
stipple
bring it up in public.
is to stipple a single eye.
I'm getting to it.
and, and so here's the thing, Lily, because Lily's completed a very significant portion of it, and I was under the assumption, boldly, that was like, oh, cool, you're gonna get to the eye part, and Lily was like, absolutely not. I'm gonna. There's like three other sections I'm gonna do before I even get to the eye, and I was like, Lily, I wanna. I was like, Lily, I've been waiting for you to do the eye. For so long, and Lily's just like, well, too fucking bad, Agnes.
Yeah, that is so true. It's
Yeah.
true. I have to do it in order of like especially on a piece this big, I have to do it in order of like the I guess like the focal priority.
Mm,
So like the main thing I wanted this piece to be was a display of these folds. And
mm,
so I started with the folds because I'm like, let me give them my ultimate attention. These things are going to be the focal point. So let me just like get those down first, make sure it's really nice. And then everything else I can kind of build around it. And so then the second priority is the face. That's like very human, that's like a thing. We recognize faces very quickly and easily. And so
mm.
first was the folds, now it's the face. And then after that, the next priority is the eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? And after that, I want to do the background, but that's another story. But here, let me try and move the camera so we can see the folds better. I don't think I can zoom out because I'm pretty sure I'm fully zoomed out already on this camera. Whoa. Okay. That's not the not the best. Let me see if I can.
I mean, we're not here for 100% accuracy. We're here for what are we here for?
That's a
we're,
good question.
we're here to get a good vibe of it.
Yeah, here, let me
And
just adjust the
don't stress too.
there we go. That's probably as close as I can get right now. It's pretty big, obviously, so it's kind of hard to move around, but we got these folds down here all the
Um,
way.
Friend of the show guy asked, "Are you gonna do a background for this drawing?"
Am I gonna do a background?
And
Yes and no. I'm just gonna ink it. I'm just gonna black it out. Straight up, just straight up black.
but for the low cost of $399.99, you can tell Lily what the background is going to be. Maybe an enchanted forest, a deep galaxy background filled
Bro,
with various
how I
stars and
don't know what
planets. I
I know I'm good, but like not that good.
think you can do a deep galaxy background filled with stars and
Definitely
planets.
not.
What?
That's definitely not.
What? Just circles.
Oh, that what? It's not that easy.
You can do it.
It's not that simple.
Wow. Circles with. I think you do equally. Yeah.
What?
I
It's the
don't know. I kind of checked out. I kind of was like, I don't know.
yeah, see, you can't even back yourself up.
No, I really can't. I'm sorry.
But anyway, I'm really happy because I got the folds done this week. And yeah. And I know I keep talking about the drawing as like a visual where like the folds are cool and like whatever is awesome.
Mhm.
But I think also I'm really excited to share the concept with people.
Mhm.
Um, because I think in a way well, obviously it's very okay. So I think it's very relatable, right?
Mhm.
Just feeling seen and also wanting to hide. I think that's a very common sort of dynamic that people have to experience and face often.
Mhm.
And me too. And so I think it's gonna be really cool to have this way of showing that and also just like having that conversation in a way. It is kind of funny though, and you pointed this out to me before. Um, but my intention with this piece was to show someone who is maybe between showing themselves and also covering themselves up. So like you can't tell which direction she's pulling this fabric. Like is she pulling it up to cover herself or is she like in the process of pulling it down to reveal herself? You aren't really sure, but like we feel those things often, like those both of those things and sometimes at the same time.
Mhm.
Um, but every area of her body that is exposed has all these eyes looking back. So like you're looking at someone's rawness in a way. Um,
Mhm.
but they are also, but then you're also feeling like it's looking back at you. And so I kind of wanted to give that feeling of like I'm looking at this drawing, but like the drawing is looking at me back.
Mhm.
And that kind of like, yeah, that sort of like dual feeling. But you pointed this out before, and I think it's so funny But in the process of doing this piece, I have withdrawn so much from people,
Mm-hmm.
and I intended it for it to be the other way around. Like whenever, so I've been, as you know, I've
Yeah.
been live streaming a lot of my progress with it. Not every single moment, just because I do some stuff offline, but I've been putting a lot of hours into live streaming the process. Part of it's to keep track of my own time, and then part of it is just to like say that I did it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it is interesting that over the duration of making this piece, I have felt like I wanted to be away from everyone
Mm-hmm.
and just like focus on making the drawing. You
Yeah.
know, like I haven't wanted to be super open about the process at the same time, like at least like conversationally. Um, but it's funny that I'm like making a piece where I'm just like, oh yeah, like feeling seen, but it's like I just want to be alone. Like I want people to see me and I want people to see this piece, but at the same time, like at least in the process of making it, I just want to be just secluded.
It is kind of funny. Because I remember like pre you working on this piece, and there was definitely a lot more Lily Valor to go around.
Yeah. Yeah, I was everywhere and hanging out with everyone and
Mm,
just and then all of a sudden like I started working on this piece and it was just like a vacuum. I was just like swooshed up and I was gone.
yeah, you gotta have to
Um
track her down to get any Lily Valor.
what? I still tried.
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah.
mean,
Mhm. All right,
what?
look,
Hey.
backing up your story.
Uh, I didn't disappear from the face of the earth like that.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I guess I kind of did, huh?
Yeah,
A little bit. A little bit. I'm back now though. I think it's the folds. I think it was just I was really focused and they're hard. They were so challenging that I just had to withdraw for a bit to like figure it out.
Mhm. Makes sense.
Yeah, you know, a funny thing about the folds actually, just as a slight tangent,
Mhm.
is so back in the day I used to have a clothing brand with one of my friends and I also went to fashion school because I had this clothing brand and I figured that's what I was gonna do. And when I was into fashion, this is something my husband also pointed out recently, which I think makes a lot of sense. And it's kind of funny that it's all coming together right now.
Friend of the
I had a whole
show.
arc. Oh yes.
Well, I guess husband of the show. Wait, does that count?
Hus- yeah, sure. But basically he was like he kind of reminded me that like whenever I was into the clothes and stuff back then, I always liked baggy clothes on myself and like oversized stuff. And the reason was because I loved the way stuff would drape. And like if you wear a hoodie that's too big, you know, there's all these like extra creases and folds that happen
Mhm.
that you can kind of create as like the texture to your outfit.
Mhm.
And I loved that. I always loved that. And now it makes sense. It makes sense that like in drawing, this is my first time like really drawing folds kind of at all, but also on this scale, and with this complexity.
Mhm.
And it makes so much sense. Like, of course I love it because I loved that stuff before whenever it was in actual fabric. So like,
Yeah.
of course I enjoy drawing it too, but like, how come I didn't piece that together, you know?
Peace, cause clothes. Ah.
Ha ha ha.
No, I'm sorry. You're talking about a serious thing.
It's okay. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird that I was like, how come I didn't figure this out before? It's like,
Mhm.
oh, what do I like drawing? And I was like, I don't know, dark things and like skulls and stuff. But then it's like, I just haven't felt like I wanted to do that anymore. Like, I think that was like definitely back in my like into tattooing sort of phase where I was like, hell yeah, skulls and shit.
Mhm.
But like now, you know, I still love it, but I just haven't really felt like drawing that anymore.
Mhm.
Um, and then, yeah, but my first like toe dipping into the folds was for Inktober. Do you
Mhm.
remember that? Whenever I made that one piece where it's like the sort of like Reaper ghost looking thing with the glowing
Yeah.
white eyes. Yeah,
I think it's one of
that
your
was my first
best.
time. What?
I think it's one of your best Inktober pieces.
Thank you. I agree with that actually. Um, but whenever I did those folds, I remember like once I finished that little drawing and I like kind of stepped back from it, I was like, oh, something happened here. Like something happened internally, like some sort of like switch got like accidentally bumped into by an intern and it actually turned the lights on. Um, Not referencing any sort of real intern here, but thanks, Jimothy. Um, but yeah, something clicked in my mind. Something clicked in my mind after that piece,
Hmm.
where I was like, "Oh damn, look at these folds." And then I did another Inktober drawing a little bit after that with a few more folds, and I was like, "Okay, I think I'm onto something." And then I had that commission where I had to draw the soccer player and I had to draw his jersey, which had stripes on it, and it's a synthetic material and it's like kind of shiny, and it came out really, really well.
Hmm.
And it was that moment where I was like, this is it. Folds are my thing. I should have known this all along. Folds are my thing. But it's funny too, because I had to meet and discover other artists who were really into form. And I think I had this, not misconception, but I had this thought in my mind because I was still new to all these things that I was like, oh, form refers kind of to like form as a whole, but I only saw it in the form of human anatomy
Hmm.
or animal anatomy, right? Like every example of form that I was like shown or saw was all, yeah, people or animals. And so I think it didn't really occur to me
Hmm.
that forms I could do forms in my own way with my interest, which happens to be fabric.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a new era of Lily Valor as an artist, and I'm really excited. What's so funny?
Yeah, I just like the phrase "we're in a new era of Louis Valley as an artist." It's very
Dramatic.
oh, it was dramatic. It's funny because you know how I relate things to like stories and stuff,
Yeah.
and you're definitely a character.
Thank you. Wow, that's not where I was expecting that to go. Thought it was going to be a little bit more uplifting, but okay.
That's I don't that wasn't as downlifting as it could.
Okay, true. Downlifting.
Yeah, that's not a phrase.
That's all right.
Um, I'm not good at English. It's my second language. That good to believe.
Okay. What? But yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. And you've seen me over the almost a year now.
I was like,
Just
does feel like a lot longer.
I was gonna say over the years, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
wait, no, it hasn't been multiple. Shit. Yeah, I don't know. You see me like the first thing. Okay, wait. You saw me at the end of the crane,
Mm,
which that was just me. That was my attempt at making a small piece, and it definitely wasn't small. It was definitely more like medium.
mm.
And then Icarus was after that. And Icarus, what's funny about Icarus is that I was practicing human form in that one, where I was like, okay, let me try doing this, but stippled. And that's kind of how that idea came to be because I
Officially,
was like, what?
I was gonna say Icarus is officially my favorite Lily Valor piece.
Officially.
Yeah. I mean, of the big pieces, it's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like it better now than I did for a second.
Uh,
Um, I think I like it for what it represents in my mind, like for
yeah.
where I was in my journey, more than like the actual drawing itself. The actual drawing itself, for some reason, yeah, it doesn't make me feel the same way it used to. That's okay. I'm sure that happens.
Yeah.
Um,
Most people don't feel. I feel like your feelings change about your artwork. I think it's just natural. Like,
yeah. But it's
yeah.
like Icarus was like at a point in my life where I was like really trying to push myself a little bit.
Mm,
I never really drew form like with that. I mean, I incorporated form into my drawings, but not knowingly. Like I didn't know what that meant or like the techniques or anything. I kind of just, I guess, guessed or just
mm,
used my observation as best as I could. Didn't really come from like an strong art education background here, so I was just just observing as much as I could and just making it look cool. But Icarus was my first like real, I guess, dive into human form where I was like, okay, well, I just want to try doing this with dots and see what I can understand. And I think what was hard about it is that, first off, human form is really hard in general.
Yeah.
But also I think the size I was doing it at was also hard. Like it was a big piece, but like it
Hmm.
was his full body, you know? And so then like I couldn't get down to like the nitty-gritty details because there's only so much you can do with dots.
Right.
And so I think I kind of understood it, but then like it just still didn't comparing it to how much the doing these folds clicked in my head, it didn't click that much. Like Icarus
Mm.
didn't. You know, like just now that I understand what it feels like to have something like really, really click, I'm like, okay. Icarus was fine, but it didn't like really click in my mind,
Mm. I get that.
you know? And so I think it was a challenging piece, but I don't think I extracted from it what I really wanted to in the end.
Mm.
I still learned a lot. I just think I didn't learn, I don't know what exactly the thing was that I was looking for, but like whatever it was, it just wasn't there.
Hmm.
But this piece now, I feel it. Well, I already felt it, and now I'm reflecting. But yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, it is kind of interesting how that happens, or like that I'm just experiencing this weird arc over the course of this drawing.
I really like it. You know,
Writing
Gonna run
that
that.
one down.
Gonna run that back. Why do I host? I can't see it.
That's okay.
What I was gonna say is, I think the cool thing about this is that, is, I think, I think you describe a journey that a lot of artists have, which is, you kind of have an idea of what you like to make, based on what you like,
Yeah.
which is like, like I like skulls and shit, so I probably like drawing skulls and shit. It makes sense. There's a logical
Right.
thing, and you
Yeah.
might do it, and you go like, I do like skulls and shit, but it doesn't give you. But then you start drawing like clothes and stuff, and you go like, oh snap, like I like folds, and it's like, well, like you said, like you kind of retroactively go back and go like, oh, well, it makes sense because if I piece this together and this
Right.
together and this together, then like of course I like drawing folds, but you don't know that until you
Right.
start drawing folds. I think a lot of times, a lot of people when they do art, like sometimes people are right on the money. It's like, I want to draw blank. I drew blank. That's what I like to draw. Um,
Yeah.
but I think a lot
I
of
think,
times, yeah.
yeah. Good. Good.
No, I was gonna say I think a lot of times for a lot of different artists, like it can be kind of surprising, like the thing that they like to do in relation to like the things that they enjoy. Because sometimes you can enjoy like seeing certain types of things artistically or like
Hmm.
stylistically, but the thing you enjoy actually making is wildly different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I also like about kind of this discovery
Mm-hmm.
is kind of like you said, it was like it's a bit serendipitous.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, I feel like I fell into it, and like you said, yeah, it makes sense now that I think about it in retrospect.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like it kind of, not that it was an accident, but I recognize that there came a point where I listened to myself, or I could hear it in myself in a
Mm-hmm.
way that this is it. So like thinking about the whole arc of my art journey the last couple years,
Mm-hmm.
it started with the cards, right? The 5 cards that I did, and that was purely just to like get me to commit to drawing something for the long term,
Right.
where I was like, okay, well, I got the first card done, and like
Mm-hmm.
I said I was gonna do this whole collection, so now I have to do 4 more pieces and like finish it up now that I've already started. I've already started. We have to make it to the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did, and that was cool. And I got a lot of mileage. I think so far there's been a lot of mileage. There's been a lot of drawing different things, trying things out, seeing how it feels,
Mm-hmm.
seeing how it feels, and then going from there.
Right.
And it's crazy to me that it took doing all these different pieces. It took meeting form artists or like just learning all these art terms and getting educated by other artists in the scene that I admire and am inspired by now. And just like all of the time that people have taken to teach me things. Thank you, Ga. Um, and and so then it took me meeting all these people and seeing all this stuff and exposing myself to like new art and new artists, especially at a time where I was feeling really alone and I had only been drawing in my little bubble. And then it took doing these commissions, it took doing Inktober to even realize like that little tiny piece of cloth that I drew in Inktober
Mm-hmm.
was like this teeny domino that I just needed to figure out the rest. But it's like I wouldn't have done Inktober if I hadn't met everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I had the commission for the soccer player after Inktober, like a month or two later. Um, which I was like, wow, this is gonna be such a challenge because there's a lot of cloth. But it's like I had already I knew I was interested in cloth because of Inktober by then.
Right.
And so I'm like, sure, I'll take this commission. Like, I'll challenge myself. And it came out great. And I loved it. I loved doing the folds. And so then after that, I had all these other commissions and other pieces that I needed to do that weren't folds. And I was like, these are not that fun
Right.
compared to what I just experienced. And the only difference is that that other piece had folds, had cloth in it. And so then I was telling myself, like as soon as these commissions are over and I'm free to work on any project I want, I am going to go super into folds. We're going to go absolutely berserk into these folds. And here we are, and I fucking loved it. I loved it. This is my thing. This is the arc happening. Should I step down off the soapbox now?
No, there's just so much joy. I didn't want to ruin it by saying anything, so I just I didn't know what to say.
Thank you for letting me bask in it for a second.
It's like that SpongeBob meme where like you're in his head and you see them going through the file cabinet. And I was experiencing pure joy. What am I supposed to do? And I was just running. I'm panicking.
Aw.
Because all of our files are like ruin it, and I was like,
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true.
and I was like, where's the support Lily file? I was like, we don't have the support Lily file.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know. Shit's crazy.
Oh, this was beautiful. This is really cool. It was a really cool thing.
It's just I can't believe it took me this long to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ran a clothing brand for like 3, 4 years.
I don't think I don't think it's a
I
thing
went to
that.
fashion school.
Yeah,
Why
I
did I
don't.
not piece it together that I'm like, oh, I like fabric. Why don't I try drawing that?
I don't think it. You don't know. You never know
Yeah,
until
right.
you never know. Like you might
You
like.
never know until you know, but
Yeah, you might like rendering pineapples, but you won't know until you.
until you try.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what's the thing that's gonna lead you to trying that?
Well,
You don't
this.
know that either.
Yeah, no, that's one of the reasons why a lot of professional artists tell you, um, like, okay, this is one of the pieces of advice I think I actually really like from a lot of artists, where they do tell you like, hey, try different things, try things that you didn't think that you would like, or you might not like, because you might find something in it that you do like.
Or
So,
sometimes you might think it's difficult at first, or
yeah.
like, yeah.
Like a lot of professional artists, like I'm sure I think this is brought up quite a bit in like the Draftsman podcast, and like just if you follow any artist, a lot of them tell you like, hey, like draw outside of your comfort zone because you'll get something from it. Even if it's the affirmation that like you don't like doing it, like
Yeah.
friend of the show, Guy. Hi, Guy. Since you're here, you're gonna be put on blast a little bit. Like friend of the show, Guy had an animation assignment in which he animated something beautiful and wonderful, and like us in our little art group, we got to see him go through the process. Um, And I remember asking Guy, like, "Oh, are you gonna do animation again?" And he was like, "Absolutely not. No, there's no fucking lemons."
I remember that.
And that was a perfect example of somebody doing something outside of their comfort zone and realizing, "Nope, I don't like this. So I'm not gonna do it."
That's so. I do remember that.
Yeah, and so
I've had those moments too in art for sure, where you're just like, you know what, not this. This was cool and everything. I like how it turned out. No, thank you.
yeah,
It
uh,
happens, but that's a great data point for you too as an artist.
yeah, and yeah, it's part of the process, and you just kind of have to learn from it. I don't think there's anything, but I don't. But I think like you said, like how do you know? I think a lot of people never find out. Well, they don't never find out, but no, because a lot of
You
people
have to
do.
listen to yourself. You have to
Yeah,
really listen to yourself, and just think about how you feel, right? Is this a project difficult? If it is, that makes sense. Is this project difficult, or do you just really not like this subject matter?
yeah, and sometimes you have to
You know what I mean?
listen.
Like, is it difficult because drawing is difficult? Like, yeah, sure, maybe. But also, it could be extra difficult because you don't even like it. Like, you don't even like what you're drawing.
Yeah, and sometimes to not listen to yourself in terms of going like, oh, this is new or this is weird. I don't want to do it. It's like, do you not want to do it because you don't like it? Like you said, like, do you
Yeah.
not want to do it because you don't like it? Um, um, or do you not want to do it because it's weird? Because those are two very, very different things, and sometimes it's
Right.
important to kind of like try that weird thing. Like I remember, um, for me, I used to because I was a big, because I'm a big weeb. Um, I used to really think it was like, oh, I'm gonna draw anime characters. I'm gonna draw people fighting.
Mhm.
Because people fighting so cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we've all been there.
yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, and I hate drawing characters. Drawing characters is so frustrating to me. Like getting the designs right, and the anatomy right, and stuff like that. It's just like, oh, I'm so awful at this. And I've grown to like it now because you get better. But
Yeah.
it was really frustrating to me. But then, like, I realized, like, oh, I really like drawing scenes, like backgrounds and stuff. So I started drawing. Well, I didn't realize I liked it, but I started drawing backgrounds. I was like, well, I gotta learn how to do backgrounds if I want to make like cool scenes and stuff. And I really got into backgrounds and I got into perspective and stuff like that. And it was really really fun. And I really started doing backgrounds. I remember like I still on my computer to this day. I have like the first backgrounds ever made, and they're like really, really small and like 400 by like 200, and they're like really basic, with like colors and stuff. But they were like one of the first things I ever made. It was like, oh, I like this,
Hmm.
and it was so fun. And I was like, ah, all right, and like I was looking at all, and now when I meet people like I hate drawing backgrounds, like how? How could you hate drawing? It's like not the easiest thing in the world. But like once you put respect, you can put whatever the hell you want.
Right. There's a lot of freedom.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of limitations.
yeah, you can't draw rocks wrong. Like I
But
mean,
at the same
yeah,
time, like folds are hard, but I still love doing it anyway. So it kind of
yeah,
just like depends, I guess, on what it is. But also I think your disposition has a lot to do with it too.
yeah,
Like it's hard to listen to yourself because that means you have to have like, dare I say, self-awareness.
yeah. No, it's that. It's very
It's
hard.
hard.
Yeah,
But just like, yeah, paying attention to how you feel. I also think it does help. It did help me a lot to have people to talk to about it,
mm,
or just about art in general, and just being exposed to a lot of different kinds of art and types of artists. There's different, there's plenty of artist tropes, and I think they're all important to learn from.
I think that's neat because I feel like the opposite for me. It was like when I stopped being around people.
Yeah.
Was when I was like, ah, this is what I like. Because I had a lot of people go like, well, you should do this, and you should, no, you shouldn't do
Hmm.
that anymore. It's like, oh,
Yeah, that makes sense. I think for me, growing up in a bubble, like my
mm,
own little art bubble, I got really used to like no one saying anything at all about my art.
mm,
No one, like my parents were like, I'm not gonna like encourage you, but like I'm encouraging you because I'm not discouraging you.
mm,
It was kind of just like nothing. Which ended up working out for me. But I can also imagine that like yeah, people telling you what to do, it's pretty annoying.
Yeah, because my parents, parents, my parent.
Magnus.
Oh, it's funny because I'm happy. My parents were just like, "Oh, cool, you're good at that," and then just kind of walked away. I was like, you didn't look at it." It's like, and then they just kept walking.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was like, "All right, so this isn't useful feedback."
Yeah. I think I recommend everyone have moments in their journey where they work in solitude.
Don't listen to people.
Um,
Like
yeah,
for
you learn a lot when you can hear a lot more things internally when you're not listening to other people tell you some stupid shit.
and also, I know you're thinking like, "Oh man, gets me fired." No, I mean that for life. But just go for a while. Don't listen to anybody. Just do whatever you want. Like I know you're like, Magnus. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
But then think about it. Like, who are you listening?
he's a crazy guy.
Think about it. Think about this. Hey guys, come on. Talk to Uncle Magnus. Let me tell you something. Think about who you're listening to. Like, really think about that person. Think
I
about
think
their
it's us right
life.
now, is it not? Okay.
Think about their life. No, listen to me. I'm always right. But other people. think,
Okay.
think about their life. Think about how happy they are. Think about the last time they just complained to you about some old stupid bullshit. And then think about to yourself, like, is this somebody I really want to listen to? Like, this person? I don't think this person has the answers. Like, if you come to that conclusion, don't listen to it. Listen to that person. And then if you notice, like, hey, I feel this way about a lot of people around me, just stop listening to them. Just stop for like a
Yeah,
minute.
don't worry about it.
Yeah, because guess what? Everybody sucks. And I'm gonna tell you a secret. I've been around the block once or twice. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. Nobody.
Nobody.
Everybody's clueless. Lily, right now, you're watching her draw. She has no clue what she's doing right now. She's
Not one
flying.
clue, man.
She's
Not one
flying
clue.
blind. Like the fact that this turned out looking good is a miracle.
Honestly, it is. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Do not be deceived. Do not be deceived. It is not precision. It is simply fear. Simply
um,
fear.
it's simply fair. It's simply fair.
Just kidding. It's pretty chill, but
Yeah.
yeah, don't worry about messing up either. I think everyone worries about like what's the right path to take? What is the right method to getting good? It's different for everyone. There's no right or wrong. There is kind of like good and there's better and worse. But there's no yeah, rules. You don't want to take Proko's course, then don't. You don't
Whoa.
need that to be a good artist if you don't want to, or do, and that's fine.
I don't know why you had to call out Proco like that. Proco's perfectly a fine person who's
He is a perfectly fine person. He's just popular, so that's why I was like, you can listen to him, or you don't have to, you know?
yeah.
It's hard though.
Proco, if you're listening,
But
I like you.
I like you too, bro. Don't let Magnus make you think I am a hater. Proko's not gonna see this.
one day we're gonna see a comment that's gonna be like, I did see this. And
Fuck.
Lily, you are a hater.
Oh my God. I would
Uh,
honestly, I'd be so flattered.
That's yeah. I
But
think
the
it
thing is,
was
okay, wait. Oh,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead. I want to hear your
Okay.
thought.
No, I just wanted to kind of like piggyback on this whole like
Uh
draw in like a bubble sort of thing or like in a vacuum in solitude.
huh.
At the same time, it's kind of hard, right? Because it's like you're like, oh, well, like I want someone to see my stuff and I want people to feel things when they see my stuff and all these other reasons. And kind of gets lonely. It does. It gets lonely to just sit there all alone in your little studio and work on your art. It does get lonely. And so you want to feel seen a little bit, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, but like
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
the part, but like at the same time, like a lot of people do feel that way, where like for me, it doesn't matter if someone sees it or not. I still want to make it. You know what I mean? I've done a lot of art in a vacuum that I'm cool with just making stuff and knowing that it exists without anyone having to know about it ever.
I
Nowadays, I am trying to get people to know about it because I'm trying to make this my life, but it's not a requirement.
I want to say, hey guys, come back to the curtain. Uncle Magnus is
Mm.
back.
Have a seat, kids.
I will say, I think this is good. Like, look, I don't typically give good advice because I'm not
That's
your,
my job.
I'm not your parent.
Oh.
um,
I'm not your parent either.
uh, but she will take up the role if need be. Um, I will say, okay. Like for all important things I've learned in life. I'm gonna see a doctor after this.
It's okay, you got this.
um,
It's doing fine.
like all important things I've learned in life. LIFE. I will say this is something that really helped me get through like the hard part of learning art. Um, if you've ever seen the anime Food Wars, which is not great, but um one of the things that the main like the dad character says in Food Wars is he tells his son, if you want to get if you want to get good at cooking, find somebody, like find a woman you want to cook for. Um and that was like his secret to like yada yada yada. Which I think is you know,
It's kind of cute.
it's kind of cute. A little old school, but roll with it. But the thing I think that's really cool about that, roll with me on this, is that
Hmm.
I think there is something nice to like finding somebody you want to share art with. And I think one of the things that like you get to enjoy as a kid is there's this manga. Ooh, thoughts. Ooh, okay.
Okay, go, go, go.
So Fujimoto, who God, one day we're gonna have a whole podcast about him.
Sure.
Even though Lily doesn't read manga or watch anime. But
Anymore. I used to.
but Fujimoto wrote this manga. I think I told you about it, Lily. Called Look Back.
Hmm. I remember.
And this manga is about this kid who's like who does these like mangas in like newspaper, like his school's newspaper, and like all his friends kind of go like, "Oh, you're so cool!" Like, "Oh my god, this is so good!" Like all that. And there's more to the story, but we're gonna stop talking about it from there because I think one of the cool things you get experiences you get as a kid is you get to share your art with like your friends and stuff. It is kind of this neat little vacuum where it's just kind of just support without pressure.
Yeah,
I mean,
literally
it's
no one cares if it's good or bad at that point.
yeah, because they're just like fascinated that you managed to make something.
Right. They're like,
And,
whoa, you drew that like on your own in your own
yeah,
time. Yeah.
it's like oh my god, it's like professional and stuff. And like all right,
You're a 5-year-old who's into sequential storytelling.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I feel like as you get older, sorry, it's gonna happen. I can't stop it. I wish I could. But as you get older, there's kind of like there's more stakes to what you do. So it's no longer this realm of like, oh hey, I drew Sonic today. It's like, dude, you're in your 20s. You're in your late 20s. What are you?
Aw.
What are you talking about? You drew Sonic.
Aw.
You have bills to pay. What's wrong with you, Mike?
Timothy.
Jimothy, like come on, man. Like, you gotta
And
get
then you sit
serious
there
about
and you stare at
this.
your little Sonic and you crumple it up.
Yeah, because like I don't got time to be wasting on Sonic. I gotta get serious about this. But I think taking that kid part of you, where you can find somebody like, hey, I drew Sonic, and you can get somebody to go like, oh, dude, that's
High
cool.
five.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to
Yeah.
find somebody who you can just share your art with, and in the back of your mind go like, oh, I'm working on another Sonic picture. I don't know why I'm thinking about Sonic a lot, but like,
Okay, that's an easy. That's an easy one.
I'm working on another Sonic. I can't wait to show. I can't wait to show Lily a sentence that will never come to my head. But
What?
but like, I can't wait to
Dang, I
show
thought I was that
Lily
friend.
my new Sonic picture. She's gonna love it. And I think the cool thing is that like you do get to enjoy some of the benefit of that kid like mentality of somebody just kind of actively supporting you trying something.
Yeah, and it
And
doesn't have to be good. It just has to be.
yeah, because you're just trying something. I remember when I first started doing drawing, um and I thank them every day for this. Uh
Mm,
I had a friend, not Lily. Um
we're not friends.
I know, I just want to make sure that got cleared up because I don't want
Oh,
people
okay.
assuming. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I had a friend who, when I first started drawing, like very first started drawing, and I was like, I'm serious about this. I had a friend and we like have little like Skype meetings at like 2
Mm.
a.m. To get together, and like she'd work on her art and I'd work on my she'd work on her writing and I'd work on my art and I actually drew a Sonic one time. Um, but we would just sit in like for hours, just like work on stuff and talk about like projects and goals and things like that. And it was really nice. And then years later, um, one day we were talking and she was like Magnus, like I watch you not know, I watch you not know, like I watch you go from not knowing how to draw to like actually being able to draw, and it's really cool. And the little nugget in my chest that represents my heart just
Oh my God.
like beat for the first time.
Oh my God.
But it was really sweet. It was genuinely a really sweet
Yeah.
moment, and it was like, oh man. But she was there, like she legitimately watched me like draw awful, and it was awful. Yeah, it was terrible. Um, and she legitimately watched me, and like I'd be like, hey, check this out. What's it? She's like, oh, good job, and like, and it was just nice. It was nice to have that experience with somebody just wasn't like, oh, it could be better. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah, they
good
just like
luck.
accepted it for what it was,
Yeah,
which is all you need.
yeah, and they're not like, good luck finding a job at Marvel drawing like that, kid. It's like, all right.
That's just a bully.
Yeah, but some people are like that. Some people like when
Well, I
you,
think that, yeah, because I think people always assume that it has to be good enough for like a job.
and I also think people like forget. I gotta stop saying like so much. My English is awful today. I think people oftentimes forget what beginning means, and they oftentimes go, "Oh, I was a beginner too. Let me tell you all the things you're doing wrong."
Right.
So you don't do it. But I think being wrong is sadly also part of the process. Like you have to do stuff, but like Lily had to draw all those other things before she got to the fabrics to probably
Yeah,
truly appreciate the fabrics. I say,
right. That is a good point. Yeah, for sure.
and if you
Because
just
like
yeah,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. You're
Well, I was
picking
gonna
up.
say like like the other drawings I still felt proud of at the end.
Mm,
Like before I discovered this fabric situation, I
yeah,
would draw the picture and I would look at it at the end and inside I would be like, this is cool. Like I feel proud of myself that I did this and this makes me happy. This gives me joy that I like drew a thing. But like for me, I guess I have the temperament where like it doesn't matter what it is or like what I draw. Like I have always just kind of been okay with it.
mm,
Like I think I just never put all this pressure on myself to like be good or show anyone or I never put all these weird expectations on myself. I like literally was just like I'm just drawing to draw because I enjoy doing it, whether it's hard or whether it looks good or bad. Like I just really like drawing in general. Um,
and you did kind of have that network where because you had like husband of the show,
yeah.
Matt, you did have I'm assuming, um
Yeah.
you did have like husband of the show Max, like like somebody who you go like, hey, like I drew this, and you have someone who's like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
I drew
good.
this thing, and he'd be like, "Oh, neat,"
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
like we just carried on. You know,
yeah,
like it didn't. There was no expectation of it to like be anything. I didn't have to try and sell it. I didn't have to try and like convince someone else that I was like a good artist. Like I wasn't worried about any of that. I was just fine making it. So like
yeah,
after all these pieces that I made before these folds, you know, like I was proud of it and I like really enjoyed drawing it because I enjoy drawing. But then it's like once I did draw folds it was a completely different feeling. And you were like, whoa. It's like only eating sugar cookies and then you have like a chocolate chip cookie for the first time,
mm,
you know? And like that was like a thing you didn't even consider. Like putting chocolate into the cookie, like, whoa. You know, and then you never look back after that.
yeah, yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, I think when you have people, when you have people who you can just be like, hey, I worked on this, and like, cool. I think it does kind of help give you that encouragement to like keep trying
Yeah.
new stuff until you hit
Being
the ring.
around other people who aren't
Yeah,
expecting all this extra shit out of you that you aren't even expecting out of yourself until they say something.
yeah, yeah. I think it's really
I
I
think there
think
is something to be said for like the childlike sort of um freedom, you know, the childlike joy and wonder and just having a good time.
yeah. If you honestly, if you get anything from this podcast, which let's be honest, you're not. But if you were to get anything from this podcast, I would say something that's really important is like, especially if you see a friend try something new. Um, as we get older, a lot of times there's an impetus in us to go like, well, what's the reason behind this? Like, why are you doing this? Like, what's the benefit you're gonna get from it? Like,
Right.
can
How can
you?
you turn this into a business? Are you going to make
Yeah,
money from it?
like, are you like? Do you think this is something you get good at? Like, what are the odds? Things like that. But sometimes it's just nice to go like, oh, cool. Let me know how that goes. Um,
Yeah.
and you never know. Like, it could be the thing that that person ends up doing that like transforms the rest of their life, or it could be like the next stepping stone that they need to get past for them to do the thing that they will eventually do. Like Lily's
Yeah.
first drawing was in folds, but eventually, all the times people are like, "Oh, that came out well. Oh, that's a good job." They're like, "Cool." Like, "Oh, I like this." Like, eventually, that led to all
Yeah.
of the things that lead into her working on being seen and like having her folds piece. Like, it's all a path, man. It's all
It
connected.
is all a path.
Yeah.
It's so hard to see it in a moment, but when you look back on the path that you paved for yourself, you're like, it makes sense that I would choose this way or that I like walked along this path that no one else has walked on, maybe.
Mm,
I think that was for me. Like I was walking alongside other people's paths just to like walk with them, you know, just for a little bit. But there always came a point where I just kind of branched off. Or I was just like, okay, well, you're going that way and like that makes sense for who you are, but like for who I am, I don't think that's the right decision for me. You have to be unafraid of like going the other way. And that also goes for people telling you what you need or should do because they don't know. They
yeah.
don't know. They don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. A very important lesson is abandon your friends. Wait, no, it's not.
No,
sorry,
no, we
sorry.
can't
Lost
say
train of
anything around
lost
here.
train of thought. Lost train of thought.
Sure. Anyway, don't worry about how other people are looking at you. Don't worry about what they say. Don't listen. Just worry
And if
about
you can't
yourself.
find a friend to just go, hey, good job. I like this. We'll do it for you. We'll
We
lie
will
to
do it
you.
for you. What?
What? And speaking of lying,
Oh Lord.
wait, do you want to do any like wrap up stuff or anything before we
What?
do?
Yeah, wait. I want to know what you're working on
Oh,
before we go here. Excuse me, sir.
oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think it mattered. I thought that was very much a you episode, and
I
I was
know, I kind of took it over, but I still want to see
no,
what you did.
this is a behind the scenes conversation. This is just like it was really about you. I wasn't really gonna do anything. You're like, oh no.
I mean, yeah, I know we talked about that already, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still want to see.
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
Only because you're talking
The
about backgrounds,
uh,
or you were, and here it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, okay, okay. So, we're gonna continue this next week, because me and Lily have some things to discuss, about this podcast, and about death.
What?
How did I say that? Ignore that first part. The last part? Wait,
Mm.
no. Ignore the last part. Um, but a little background, and I explain this more next week. But
Okay,
but um,
that's cool. I just wanted to see a full screen.
yeah, okay, okay. I get you a full screen. I wanted
Yeah,
to
that's all.
explain it for a second.
Okay, sorry.
No, no, you're fine. What are you apologizing for?
You said you wanted to explain it first. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, 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 yeah.
prematurely just pushing it along here.
No, no, you're fine. You're a person.
Sure am.
Despite what I do and say, you're a person.
Despite my best efforts.
You're still here. Okay, so there's an artist, Devin L. Kurtz.
Uh,
I don't know if I'm saying that right. And if I'm not, that's not my fault. She is a phenomenal artist, one of my favorite artists, and she has um quite a few brush pack that I use pretty regularly in my day to day art when I'm doing like digital painting stuff.
hmm
I also say day to day art like I draw day to day, which is also a lie. But anyway, she has a brush pack that came out, a new cloud brush pack that came out, and I'm a big fan of her brush packs, and I'm a big fan of her artwork, and so I really wanted to give her cloud brushes a try. So for this episode and the next week's episode, I am going to be working on a piece that takes advantage of her cloud brush.
Oh, nice.
I thought it'd be fun. I thought it'd be nice. It's gonna be a little. It's gonna be inspired by the the comic that I'm working on with the my little sister Magical Girl. So
Nice.
the the I don't know if you can see it because um whoa, it's too huge.
Mhm.
Here we go. So I've already kind of lowered the opacity on everything. But
Yeah.
if you look real closely, like really closely, there's like a giant like monster arm,
Right. I see it.
and then it's on top of like a roof, and then right there in the little corner, it's gonna be our little magical girl in like a little silhouette, and then in the
Mm.
background you're gonna do that, and then
hmm
in the vast background, way in the back, way back there, you'll be seeing some clouds.
Yay, cloudage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really like and these are really good like cloud brushes. Like I'm such a sucker for cloud brushes. Um
Is
back
it like a cloud? Is it like cloud shaped or like
yeah.
the sort of softness?
Yeah. Yeah. Like they're very
Ah,
south.
yeah.
I'm just throwing
Oh, I
them.
see. hmm
Yeah.
Wow,
And
that's pretty
like
neat actually.
yeah, and they have like even like cloud streaks and like these like look at like you see like these this is like a fluffy cloud brush and you see that like
Mm.
slight fade that they have
Yeah,
like
yeah,
towards
yeah.
the edges like, it's so
Oh,
nice, yeah,
oh, I like those.
yeah, and then you have like different variations so you can like add to the edges to it, and these are just like yeah, so just different textures of
Damn, that's pretty
clouds,
cool.
yeah. And then you have like these I like and, like I really like a good cloud brush pack doesn't just have the fluffy clouds. It has all this extra like these streaky
Yeah.
stuff. And
The different types of clouds that there are.
yeah, all the streaky stuff in it that really helps like sell it. And
Yeah.
it gives you like those really loose like like it's really really fitting in. Like you can seriously like really texture in some cool like different cloud forms and stuff like that and some nice shapes.
Hmm.
So yeah, so we're going to get into some cloud work next week. And like I love this noise
Nice.
and texture. Like it's gonna be great. But yeah, that's what we're gonna be working on next week. Um
Nice. I'm excited for that.
yeah, so I wanted to sketch it out, and I thought it'd be cool because we could talk about your photos this week,
Yeah.
but I'm such a big fan of hers. I really wanted to, and hopefully I can show off her city brush as well, because it's really really
Mhm.
good. With that being said,
Yeah.
Lily
Yes.
Valour, we've said a lot of truths and a lot of lies today.
Mostly truths.
Uh huh. Um, there's a one lie I need you to tell me.
Okay.
Lily, are we the best in the world?
We're not.
See you next week.